Hey again, you guys. All right, I swear this is the last video of me that you will have to see today. But I wanted to make sure that you understood the packet, the regular adjectives packet, and that you get a chance to hear the pronunciation of these different adjectives. Um, we will not go through every single, I don't expect you guys to say every single pronunciation, but just at least listen to the different ways. Some of them, like with the colors, if you look back to the page 3 of this packet, if you look back to those colors, you'll remember that the ones that ended in a silent, unaccented E to begin with never changed in pronunciation, just like the first one there, rouge. No matter which form it is, masculine, singular, masculine, plural, feminine, plural, they all sounded exactly the same, though there may be spelling differences. So, for instance, when we look at them, it's pronounced whoosh, 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 whoosh. No difference in sound, right? But if it ends in a consonant, then the feminine form is going to allow you, by adding the E, to pronounce that consonant, just like the adjective vert, green. It goes from vert to vert. Vert, 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 vert. So there, it's a lot easier to distinguish when you're talking to someone. Um, but of course, there are spelling differences on most adjectives, except for an adjective which is invariable. If you forgot that word, that's what invariable means, never changing. So I've told you before, there are 5 total invariable adjectives in French, and after today you will know 3 of them. 2 of them are colors. Do you remember what they were? Kevin G. Reyes? Anyone? It was orange and marron. So orange and brown were invariables. And you're going to learn another one today, sympa, which is actually a shortened sort of colloquial slang term. It came from the adjective sympathique, which means nice or kind. But today, when you say sympa, it means like cool, like that's nice, that's cool, that's sweet. And sympa also never changes its form. So if you look at the top here, this is going to give you some little tips to remember about regular adjectives. Of course, in French, we know that regular adjectives follow the noun. So whereas in English we would say the red car, in French we will say the car red. And red is going to match the adjective red is going to match the noun car in number and in gender. Um, and of course, the only exceptions are the invariables, of which you now know 3. All right, I am not going to go through the meanings of these with you. You'll go through those with Mrs. Grau just in interest of time and my computer wanting to not make super long videos like the last one. But I just want you to hear what these sound like. So I'll pronounce all 4 forms for you. If you want to chant along, that would be awesome. It will certainly help it stick better in your mind that way. All right, first up we have âgé, 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 âgé. So that's one where it didn't really change in sound. It ended in an accented vowel, so we did add an E for feminine, S for masculine plural, and ES for feminine plural, but it did not change the sound at all whatsoever. They sound the same all the way across. All right, we have next amusant, amusante, amusant, amusante. Then we've got a favorite adjective of mine, bête, 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 bête. So again, sounds the same all the way through. The next one is the same way, and it's another favorite adjective of mine, I mean really. Bizarre, 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 bizarre. All right. The next one does change from masculine to feminine because it does end in a consonant. And as you know, we're careful. The C, the R, the F, and the L are the only consonants that we will pronounce at the end of a word. If it's a different consonant, then we are not going to pronounce it. But when we make an adjective feminine, we add an E, which allows us to pronounce the consonant. That was normally silent in front of it. For example, content, contente, content, contente. All right. Then we've got a very sad one. Déprimé, 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 déprimé. Right? Sounded the same all the way across. Same thing is going to happen on our next one. Égoïste, 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 égoïste. All right, the next one is pretty handy if you're talking about little brothers or little sisters. Embêtant, embêtante, embêtant, embêtante. All right, then you've got enthousiaste, 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 enthousiaste. You'll notice there that the TH sound that we would say in English, enthusiastic, the TH, as you probably recall from watching Pink Panther last week, is not pronounced in French because it does not exist in French. And so sometimes that will change to a Z, sometimes a D, and sometimes a T sound. And you get the T here. It's as if the H is not even there. All right, on to the next word, fatigué, 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 fatigué. I think we learned that one at the start of the year when we were talking about conversational French, and one way to answer comment vas-tu or comment ça va is to say je suis fatigué. All right, our next word is fort, forte, fort, forte. So got a silent consonant at the end. It's not in careful, so we don't pronounce it until we add the E after it. All right, on to a word that would apply to grandmas and Santa Claus. Généreux, généreuse, généreux, généreuse. This is our first encounter with one that the base form of it ends in EUX, and to make EUX feminine, the X is dropped and we add an SE. So généreux, généreuse. Next is the word gentil, and it goes gentil, gentille, gentil, gentille. So to make that feminine, we're doubling the L, and that makes a ya sound, as you recall, I'm sure. Also, be careful spelling this. It's a common mistake when someone's learning French that they will spell out the word Gentile instead of gentil. Gentile simply in English means non-Jewish, and that really has nothing to do with this at all. So be careful. If you're going to make it feminine, add 2 L's. All right, on to the next adjective is intelligent, intelligente, intelligent, intelligente. All right, then you've got, ooh, a bad one here. Méchant, méchante, méchant, méchante. And the last one, this page, is mignon, mignonne, mignon, mignonne. So you see when you end in a silent N, and then you have to double it and add an E to make it feminine, that really changes that vowel sound. So the masculine of the word cute is mignon. And the feminine of the word cute is mignonne. So it really changes that on to a sound. You might have seen this word before if you've ever heard of a filet mignon. That simply means a cute little cut of steak, a cute little filet. It is kind of cute. It's a very little piece of steak. If you only want just a bite, you can have a filet mignon. All right, on to page 2. And we're still going through just kind of general adjectives here. At the top here we have the word skinny, which is a funny word. I'll tell you in a moment, but it's pronounced mince, 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 mince. And it's funny because it's also used as a sort of not dirty expletive. Like if you stub your toe, but you're in public and you don't want to say what you really mean, one way to say like, oh, fiddlesticks or oh, crappy doodle would be to say, ah, mince. So the French do use that word. They say, oh, skinny, when they really want to say, oh, something else that you don't say in public, right? So you can use that as an expletive too, and people will be like, what are you saying? And you'll say, I'm saying, oh, skinny, duh. All right, on to our next word. This is the same word in English and French, so it is a pretty close, perfect cognate, and it's pronounced naif, naive, naif, naive. And you'll notice that has the accent tréma, the 2 dots, the umlaut, that allows you to pronounce 2 vowels separately. So make sure you're really pronouncing the 2 different sounds, naif, naive. All right, on to the word normal. That is pronounced normal, normal, normaux, normal. That one is similar to the word animal. When you make it plural masculine, it changes from AL to AUX. It's kind of a weird one, so you might want to leave yourself a little note about that one to be careful with that guy. All right, on to the next adjective. It's one that ends in EUX. So we have paresseux, paresseuse, paresseux, paresseuse. And then another one that relates to younger siblings. Sounds the same all the way across. It is pénible, 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 pénible. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Morky. On to the word raisonnable, another one that sounds the same all the way across. Raisonnable, 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 raisonnable. If you can say it once, you can say it all of the time. It's because it sounds the same all the way across. The next one is that invariable I was telling you about, sympa. It sounds the same all the way across. So sympa, 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 sympa. And it all means cool, sweet, nice. Bay, some people do use bay in that way. Kind of weird how it's changed from a noun to an adjective in less than a year. But anyway, 2 more adjectives to go in this category. All right, the next one does not change the sound at all, and it is timide, 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 timide. So sounded the same all the way across, spelling is different. And then our very last one, this one is what we would call a false friend because it looks like it would mean one thing in English, actually has a totally different meaning. So you can kind of get in trouble with some of those words like that. Travailleur means hardworking, not traveler. It has nothing to do with traveling. The verb it comes from, travailler means to work, not to travel. Although I think I know which one I would prefer of those. All right, let's hear the forms of it. It's travailleur, travailleuse, travailleur, travailleuse. All right, and that concludes the regular personality adjectives here. The next thing that we have, and I put a little category here, is les couleurs de cheveux. So these are hair colors. In English, we say, she's blonde, he's brunette, um, and she's ginger, he's ginger. We do the same exact thing in French. So for blonde, it goes blond, blonde, blond, blonde. Be careful not to confuse that with the adjective blanc, meaning white. The hair color is blond and the white color is blanc. Pretty close, but you gotta listen closely when someone's talking to you anyway. Our next one for people that have brown hair is going to be brun, brune, brun, brune. So you see that changed the vowel sound completely, making it feminine. That one's at least a little bit easier to remember. And the last one for people that are a redhead or ginger is roux, rousse, roux, rousse. Right? And sadly, for people that have different colors of hair, like if they have gray hair or purple hair or black hair or any other color of hair that you can have, we don't have an adjective that means that. We have to sort of reword the statement. We wouldn't say he is black-headed. We would say he has black hair. She has purple hair, etc. But for those that fall into those categories, there's a nice, neat adjective there to help you. And our last category that we're going to look at here is the nationalities, les nationalités. Obviously, I did not include every nationality on here, but certainly the ones that might apply to people that we know. And then the very last category is colors. We've gone over those several times, so I'm not going to bore you guys with that today. But let's go through the nationalities. Okay, so American, simply meaning someone that was born in the United States. It goes Américain, Américaine, Américain, Américaine. And I should note that all of the nationalities, I think we talked about this when we made the passports, but all of the nationalities in English, when you're writing them, you do have to capitalize them. You say he's an Englishman, English is capitalized. You say she is American, American is capitalized. In French, we never capitalize any of those nationalities, so do be cautious with that. I might try to test you over that at some point. All right, our next one, French, obviously. Français, Française, Français, Française. Our next one is Espagnol, and that simply means from Spain, not Hispanic, but someone that's from Spain. And the reason that's on the list is Spain is next door to France, and we may see that word come up at some point. So it goes Espagnol, 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 Espagnol. Because it ends in an L, that consonant is in the word careful. We do pronounce it on the masculine forms. It's not as pronounced as when you make it feminine and add an E. So, Espagnol, Espagnol. You really overpronounce that L to make it a feminine sound. All right, on to Allemand, which is it's a cognate between French and Spanish. If you speak Spanish, you may already know this word. Allemand, Allemande, Allemand, Allemande. Okay, and I included German because, again, Germany is right next door to France. Our next one, the word English, and not meaning English speaking, but someone that is from England, so a person that is British. It goes anglais, anglaise, anglais, anglaise. Then we've got Mexican, so that goes mexicain, mexicaine, mexicain, Mexican. That really changes that last vowel sound as well. And our very last one that we're looking at, it's a person from Guatemala. It is pronounced Guatemaltec, 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 Guatemaltec. So that did not change the pronunciation whatsoever between the forms, but obviously looking at it, you can see the spelling does change. And again, we've done the colors before, and Mrs. Grau is going to go over all of the meanings of these adjectives with you. And let me just encourage you again to make sure you hang on to this guy. Keep this in the notes section of your notebook because we will use this pretty much every day from here until the end of when you take French. So if your last class is French 1, 2, 3, or 4, you're going to be using this guy all of the time, and you don't want to be constantly asking for another copy of it. So again, those are the regular adjectives, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. I've enjoyed making this for you, and I'm really looking forward to coming back and seeing you. But I know I can't for at least another couple of weeks. So I'm going to try to make videos for you in the meantime so you can at least get a little bit of FaceTime with me. And of course, if you have any questions ever, you can always email me. My email is on the class syllabus, and I can help you that way. But Mrs. Grau will help you as well. And all right, I hope you guys have a bonne journée. À plus!